Okay, today we'll be drawing a face. It's just going to be a generic face. It's just about the general proportions of the face and how to position the different elements. The basic error that people tend to make is to put the eyes too high in their head and all that. So there are various different methods and very advanced and sophisticated methods of drawing and doing the proportions of the face. But I'm going to stick to this basic one that I've used with students with great success. We draw. Remember, you use up as much of your space on your page as possible. We just draw a basic oval, and then we're going to divide it up into sections. Now, if you've got your oval halfway through, about where your eyes will be, and between that and the chin area, another halfway through where the nose will end, and between the end of the nose and the chin, halfway through is where more or less where the mouth will be. Very simplistic way. And then we draw a line down the middle to show the center of the face, and then also add your head, otherwise the egg will be floating around in space. The neck is far thicker than people tend to think. They may tend to make the head like that and then the neck like this, and that ends up looking like the head's going to topple off. Okay, we don't want that. Alright, so we're going to do the basic shape of the eyes. The eyes are also kind of oval. The eyes position is about, there should be a space for another eye in the middle between the two eyes. So don't put your eyes too close together and don't make them too far apart. The basic shape. And then we just take the nose. People tend to draw the nose like this, which is not right. There are no lines on the side of the nose, so it's just going to be shady. We do just this. And for the mouth, we draw just a basic shape. Right, those are the basic shapes, and let's put in the irises, and they don't touch both top and bottom, so we generally make them look like they are just above the bottom lid, and then the eyelid and the eyebrows to make the face look a little more realistic. The reason why people tend to put the eyes too high up in the face is because they don't realize that half the skull is covered with hair. So we're not going to go into all of that detail and to detailed shading. Let's just put in the pupil. The pupil is obviously a solid color, but it always reflects some sort of light. So we're assuming the light's coming from that side, so the pupil is kind of like that. We'll do a detailed drawing of the separate features of the face at another stage. Also, then, the eye is not a solid color. If you look closely at somebody's eye, you could look at your own in the mirror if you like, it's not a solid color. It's little muscles that help the pupil, the iris contract and expand with the different types of light that you've got. Okay, so there we go. And the outer rim of the iris is also a little darker than the inner part. And then the inside of the eye is not entirely a sharp angle like I initially showed. It's more like a little indent there where there's a little piece of flesh, and sometimes you can see the bottom part of the inner eyelid as well. So there we've got a basic eyelash. And then when you make the lashes, the lashes tend to be longer in the outer corner and used like a flick of the wrist to make the lashes. Ensure your pencil is very sharp so that you can make sharper lines if you need to. And then they make them a little curvier, and then they tend to get a little shorter towards the nose. And then the bottom eyelashes, something like this. And then, yeah, and then from here on, you'll start your shading to make the face look a little more realistic. I'm just going to do a basic part of it. I think I'll do that in a separate video. So I don't want these videos to get too long because they tend to become take a very long time to upload, and I'm sure it is tedious for people to watch. But you can start, if you want, you can start practicing this part of the face, and especially to given the one side of the face that I've given you already, you can start practicing on your own. And then the next time, your ears are around here, the next time we can do a bit more shading. Right, there will also be a lot of erasing going on because this is not quite the kind of effect we want. All right, so there we go. I'm tempted to carry on, and I won't. I'll just leave it as is. Okay, see you next time.